Good afternoon. I'm pretty sure I actually got this hat all the way back to like 2020. Um, I wonder if there is definitely footage of me outside on my channel. First example I can think of is a 90-degree joke. It has been a long time. I've been on YouTube. I've just been camping on my community posts. I was gonna go under shade in this bush. This is definitely like a beautiful way for me to come back. Just like the outside. Look at those clouds, man. Those are some beautiful clouds. Look at those. I also got some oranges here. Um, the only reason I have this juniper hat is because it's pretty much like a good hat with a brim. And I kind of have to have this on because, like, for some reason, summer lasts a while, it seems. I've heard that autumn's coming. I've even seen like a YouTube short that like recommends like hip hop albums to be listening to during autumn, even though over here I don't see a single orange tree anywhere. I dropped my orange, but it has a peel on it. I've not seen a single orange tree. I might have seen one like very far away, but still very warm weather for what season it's supposed to be. Talking about Animal Crossing, September is literally when the loading icon becomes less green. So the only excuse for the weather to be the way it is region in the world. At my brim. What else was I gonna go get? The only thing that's over there is my shoes. So yeah, even though I am touching grass, I might have to have this hat off actually, since I'm in shade. Um, although I am touching grass, I still have this screen right here, but 0 viewers and 1 like. So I guess I'm just gonna eat these 2 oranges and yap. Although I might end up being a little extra focused on the oranges. I always John Paul's Balls made one of his hi Alex. One of John's videos, his most popular one, I think, involves him like making a ball out of making a ball from an orange that he'd peeled. Hmm. I'm like Link when he's trying to cut something. Um and it's kind of hard to understand about to touch grass here in the UK. Nice. I mean, if you're doing it with John Chungus, everybody's gotta do it at the same. Oh, about to. So it's actually gonna be like almost 4 minutes until the actual time. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing it like around my house since even if I had a driver's license, I'm sure it'd kind of be an issue going wherever John Chungus is, even if it was in state, let alone if it wasn't. So yeah, about John's orange video. It involves him like thumb in orange, and all the pieces are random. And how I peel an orange is I just get like a little baby knife that isn't very, very sharp or not serrated. And just like cut the orange like into quarters, kind of like a 2 by 2 cube, almost at my local park walking now. Um, so sometimes I think about what if there was a ball made out of or inspired by an orange that I'd peel. It would be a pretty simple formation, like 8 of these kind of triangles. That's almost as clean as like 12 pentagons. Also, I usually have a bowl to put these peels in, but drop the hat. But I guess since these are technically organic matter, um, I mean I would throw them away when I go back in. See, it's nice when I'm outside and not actually being a little quiet because then I get to hear sounds I don't usually hear. What it's supposed to be. So about videos I'm going to release, my most recent post is basically like saying like a deep version of I pardon. Um basically a deep version of I gotta like watch what I put out first. If I can't spend time working on something big that I'd love to release, I gotta work on something small to release 1 minute to go. Yeah, I feel like by then I might have this orange fully peeled, ready for consumption. So yeah, I honestly feel like my poll, something from the vault might be like the most likely thing to come out because I guess what I originally described as the vault are videos I already have like editing progress on but never released, like a collection in CapCut. But I guess my new definition of something from the vault is just like a list of level ideas in my notes app. Not level idea. I mean, I have that too, but I meant to say video ideas. You just got Sean Chungus. We are all John Chungusing right now. So, I already took a shower yesterday. I didn't have any what's in my mind. I'm chungusing for sure. Yeah, I don't think I've ever like met any big like creator. I've never been to any kind of convention, most likely because I feel like if I had any special interests, I would have a little bit of anxiety to tell my parent. I have heard my sister tell her parents about a convention that okay, this is where the orange starts getting less or more mingled. I mean, to be fair, this is like it is fair enough to like have a screen because like 80% of the time I'm gonna be focusing on this orange. This one orange. I have another one. I plan to be out here for I started at like 2 p.m. here, and I plan to be out here for like 2 hours. So 4 p.m. That's like when right before evening starts. This is like the best of the day. I'm fully expecting somebody to wonder what I'm doing outside. I guess when I get a message like that, inevitably, um, or if somebody comes outside, I set down my phone and act like I'm not um putting me out there because it's like that one Twitch clip I made. Like, why would anybody be scared of the possibility of many people watching me if there is nobody watching me? You know, I have another video from the vault that I actually had a reason. Chungus Con 2026 is gonna be amazing. I really hope Sean Chungus stays relevant because like he does have a great motive that he has explained. Like it is definitely a form of trying to get people to stop doom scrolling. I do know him from Instagram Reels, but he is also on TikTok with a similarly large fan base. I feel like one day I have seen like a video. That's why the event is great. You can participate anywhere in the world, anywhere that has grass. And this pile of peels on my knee is gonna get huge. It's a nice breeze out here now. I think if I left this bush, I wouldn't be. I don't think I even need this hat right now. I feel like one day, the same thing I did for TikTok, I will probably inevitably delete Instagram because I saw this one girl who essentially got the same exact payment as that one girl who wasn't on mute at a Beyonce concert and just got unreasonable backlash for being cringe. Like whatever clip that was kept getting what kind of live stream clip kept getting around. I mean, it's kind of like don't touch my pizza, but I wouldn't compare to that since we know what happened to that person. but let's just keep following. But I'd rather just keep following John Chungus's message, looking away from the screen. I told my friend that I don't think that I think it would take like a very long time for me to move out of this house. I told her that I'd just like change the environment around me and like just become a better version of myself once I turn either 18 or 20. I'd only move out either if there is like a huge problem my family has with me doing harmless stuff, or if a family member passes away, and then ownership, kind of who gets it. I guess it's kind of like a form of dissociation as well, because like when you're when you're playing games so often, um, the location I'm at right now just honestly feels like another world. Like you're sitting in grass when you don't do that very often. Um, I feel like if I finish these two oranges and I have nothing else to focus on, I might also end up just like walking around my house. The last, I didn't bring out an additional device, so I can't necessarily see what exactly John Chungus is doing right now. But I imagine he's on IG Live. Sure. What kind of rain am I hearing right now? That's got to be some kind of lawnmower. I feel like if I really want to get up and walk, then um, I might end up just like not throwing these away. I think the dogs in my house are barking right now. They also hear what I'm hearing. I have not taken one bite of this orange. I usually eat this when there's even more um, hit. I'm halfway into eating oranges, and one of my feet I think have already fallen asleep. I might keep the other in my pocket because I think one orange is enough for me. I don't know who I don't know what those people are talking about. Technically, if the grass is tall enough and you're wearing sandals, you're still technically going to be touching grass. Which is nice. Stay home, save up as much money as you can. I guess the only thing that money would be spent on is paying for gas Since I've never been in a plane, I'm assuming since planes and like airports take a lot of setting up for my family, and plane tickets are what, like 1,000. Honestly, why you're the only person I found streaming this. I mean, John did tell people to post themselves touching grass on their reels or post post that on their stories. Um, I wonder how many people are at the same location as John Chungus, because it is kind of like that one time Jakerton said that there were a lot of people who met him at that one Blue Lobster Times Square billboard. Hello, Marky. I'd assume at least four people are the same location as John Chungus. Because John Chungus is a pretty new creator as well. Yeah, that's basically that's basically what I was just hearing. I'd assume it's a lawnmower. On the other half of this orange, then I guess I might walk around a little bit because you can split 120 minutes into three groups by like 40 minutes. Who are my friends? I got all my friends to touch grass at 3 p.m. EST, including really fun 75. I'm glad that John Chongus's movement is getting a lot of people see. I guess it makes sense that John isn't like framing it because that does technically involve a screen, and he wants to be as true as the as true to the trend as the creator of it could possibly be. Maybe he's just there to meet other people who see that as a cool thing to do. Because what I'm seeing this as is not just a silly, funny thing because, like, he said his main goal is to get people a little bit less chronically online, and this is a good step. Looks like a few hundred people here. What's that supposed to mean? The amount of people watching? Because on my end, the view count is one. And my foot, I gotta move my foot. I might walk around in the grass without my sandals on. But if it ends up hurting a little too much, if I might put them on, which is why I had to carry them around. I think the most viewers I've ever had in the short form live stream, I mean, the bar is kind of low. I don't know how many short form live streams I've had. I think I've had like 5 or 8 viewers at like the big. At like the beginning of my blood moon stream, and I didn't end up like actually being live while I beat Death Moon under it, just because I think I just wanted the best quality, and I think I actually like ended the final Blood Moon stream before I actually saw it. And I do remember in that stream I searched Blood Moon on TikTok and I saw an astrologist saying what it means with like a lot of other people in comments agreeing with them. Like, oh my goodness, you can tell my fortune. I probably would have just stayed in bed if it wasn't for this event. W event. I might be able to take down like 2 oranges before the 40-minute mark, but that wouldn't really make sense because like that's what the final 40 minutes are for, eating the other orange. Final final five. Means now I have to figure out where to store all this stuff. I might I might just wear this hat since not sure. There's many other spots I could put it, but that does leave the knife. And I think it would be a little safer putting it like blade up in my pocket instead of blade down, so it doesn't like you know my pants. That was a joke. Um, that stuck me in the grass. I'm just gonna leave this right here. Said toward like the beginning of the stream, I really love how this sky looks. I guess the sun is really back. Huh. All right, let's I would rather like dump it like in the bush than anywhere. I guess there is that stump. Animal. All right. My hands kind of sticky now. Now my left ear is hot. Blue skies, fluffy clouds, sunshine is the best weather ever. I remember I'm gonna wait for whatever engine that is to stop. This is when I have 2 viewers showing my toes on grass. Um, I remember thinking that like my ideal weather is like not very sunny, kind of like a cloudy sky. Like the spot like between midday and it's like dark. But like if midday was one and dark was fi- and if dark was five, I'd say like three would be good spot for this, give or take. And when it's like slightly cool, like slightly below like what would be considered nice weather, like cool and like not cold. I'm gonna try like doing a lap around my house, see what that does for me. I'm just gonna get my sandals on. Man, this sidewalk's so cold. This is like that. This is like that guy who used to make the sitting and smiling videos. I think his name is like Benjamin Brandon, if I'm not mistaken. But like after like ending like the series, I think after like 300 videos, he just started making videos titled "Walking and Talking" that were like a few hours each. This is definitely something I think I've been missing, just like walking around. Although it's not like very like exercise, it is definitely some form of it. This isn't like exercise specifically meant to burn calories, more so just like to feel like you have a life. I don't know. After a lap of the area, you'll have touched thousands of grass. That gives me like super huge glue energy. Like, what's your definition of thousands of grass? Like thousands of blades of grass? I have my sandals on right now. Um, maybe like once I go back to where I started, I'll probably take my sandals off and see if I don't step in anything. My neck is getting pretty hot. Well, I'm gonna turn my brightness on up. Hope I don't pause the stream. And it is already the brightest it can go with adaptive brightness. All right, I get a break of shade, and like right before I escape it, um, I'm gonna take my sandals off. One, two, off we go. Second lap. I remember in like PE class when I was in elementary school. I'm gonna put my hat that way just so I shade my ear more. When I was in elementary school, PE, I remember one time, I think it was like either every quarter or every semester. Um, we used to have to run either a half mile or a full mile. I forgot. It might have went from half mile to full mile when I like went up grades, like going from fourth to fifth. Um, but there was like this little perimeter that did happen to be just like this school building pretty much, along with other random buildings set out, like the baseball court or whatever you call it. What I'm focused on is walking. Um, So yeah, like 2 laps around that was considered a half mile, and obviously 4 laps around it is a full mile. I'm not sure. I think I remember only one time I ever did the full mile, and it does kind of give similar energy to that one BuzzFeed video. That's like, I think the 7 states of a runner running a marathon. And that's basically um it is kind of like an arc. Like, you feel good, but in the middle you're at an all-time low emotionally as a fifth grader. um but I've just been talking for so long that I've done now 2 laps around this house. I have walked them, but man, I should have gotten sunscreen before this. Yeah, you go from, I already said, yeah. I remember, I do remember like having a Snapchat filter on, well, not a Snapchat filter, like an after, like, I'm pretty sure on Snapchat filters are called effects. And just so like what you actually swipe onto your photo or video or Snapster piece afterwards is actually called a filter. And I remember like putting that on and then running to see what speed I was moving when I ran. No country. And I think it was that like 2 miles per hour. But now that I say that, I think there might have been something going on, like me going at like a pretty slow speed during taking the picture, and like actually running like after. It might have measured. It might have actually only measured the miles per hour during the photo instead of like not actually a live tracker. I'm getting a little tired though. I'm definitely gonna run odd amount of laps. Um, this is my third lap and second one without shoes. I feel like if I really want to push myself, 5 laps is a sweet spot. Um, man, but if I stop at 5 laps, then that means I don't know what else I'm gonna do. It would absolutely be a vibe walking in what is cool weather. That's why I said that's a lot of grass gray work. I'm gonna have to like measure like what kind of perimeter I'm walking. Um, because in PE, it mattered more that you were going fast than it did you actually completing the half mile or mile. But that's the only thing I don't like about the outdoors. The insects, the bugs, the intrusive bugs. POV, um, me as a like a gnat or something. Ooh, yeah. Um, I really hope I don't step on something that is like a sticker. Um, because I'm not from the South, but I'm pretty sure I've experienced that before. I'm surely it's going to be like a different um amount of distance each time because like earlier I stepped in an area of dirt that didn't really have grass and around that area, and just now there was grass. Um, so after I get some shade, after I get like the 10 seconds of shade, um, whole band name, I just whipped up. This is my second to last lap, and I'm about to run what I think should be my final one. So yeah, when I was in elementary, running the running the half mile. This is just how I usually think. This heat isn't doing much to me mentally. You can review the stream afterwards and work out your fastest lap time. I mean, I am surely slowing down because, like, I'm not putting as much, like, physical effort as I was the first few laps. And this is the final one, which I assume I'm almost, like, halfway to completing, waiting for whatever that bug was. Oh, we're back. Do I have Wi-Fi on? I think I do. So yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I do think I remember. It was 2 semesters I was supposed to run half a mile, and I think it was basically to see like if we improve, if the time we ran it improved. So obviously, you got me being the rabbit and the turtle, the tortoise and the hare. Um, obviously, me being the hare, um, not taking it slow the whole time, much like the previous semester would have been. Um, and yeah, it was supposed to be like who does it? Oh, to see if you improved, and I think um my PE teacher, there was pretty much not a single male teacher in elementary. I think even by that point the principal was a woman. She got a little mad at me. Got mad at me for my time. A little what is it called? Condescending. Um so obviously I wondered what my time on the second time around was since I did so badly. Um and it was 3 seconds faster than my previous time. Faster. We're back to the shade just in time. And I would walk another another 2 times, and my homie used to just walk the entire run. Yeah, I should have been doing that. I mean, surely I was walking like most of it because I just didn't have the energy to run. Maybe I could have tried jogging. Maybe that is what I tried. Um, no, I don't think I had the mental capacity to know that I don't have to run the whole time. Maybe, um, yeah, I might sit back down. Um, and I'm still not sure if I actually want to stream for 2 hours. My phone is at 33% and pretty hot for me. Hot from me, um, being out here for so long. Sorry, my head kind of hurts again. I guess I'm just gonna put my shoes back on just so I can walk them to a different area for shade, like the sidewalk, because like this sidewalk right here is a lot cooler than anything around there. I'd say even cooler than the grass, which has been in the shade. I mean, this is cold as well. Um, so yeah, I guess I'll just set my hat over here and nothing's stopping me from doing what I just did because that's still gonna involve me yapping. Um, I mean, you can always come back to streaming. Like if you close YouTube while you're doing a vertical live stream. I know I said short form earlier, but I realized vertical works better. Um, if you like leave the app and come back, you can return it automatically goes back to streaming. You're good at talking, and that's a fundamental part of being a great streamer. Yeah, that's what I could do because usually when I'm creating, okay, most of the time when I'm actually playing a game, all I really commentate about is just like when I do something, and I don't let my mind wander as much as I am right now. But when I'm somewhere out here, I have no choice but to yap about yap about like outward sources because I can't just make the entire stream like, oh, look at the grass, look at the sky. I accidentally muted. Um, but that's because there's nothing to be created. So yeah, I think once I get to like the 50-minute mark, I think I can like yap for like an extra 10 minutes, but um you know what I could do? Not that. And get at and sit back down in the grass. I'm definitely like closer to actual sunlight like I was earlier. This night's still in the pocket. I think I can just go back to eating an orange a little bit later. As I said earlier, I didn't bring in I didn't bring out a device to like see what else everybody's doing, but because of how true I want to stay, I don't think I'm gonna go inside until the stream reaches like 2 hours. I'm sure you just farmed enough XP to hit grass level 100. Well, that's offset. To add these bugs. It doesn't even matter what bug it is. It's just like I'm pretty sure like even some clips from like February 2024 has me like letting out just a scream because a gnat got in my face. I remember like a while ago, I think when I was playing Minecraft or like looking through Minecraft world to create something. I was getting tired of the gnat of any gnat there happened to be. And I very rarely like bring food into my room as well. Um, but there was a moment where and that flew into my nose and I just didn't know how to like match that energy. I just like on dusk slammed, I think the hardest I ever have. I did it I think I did it so hard that like my monitor reacted the same way I do like when I hit one of my light switches. It just went off for a second. I don't think I don't think I've ever done that, nor do I think I could ever do that again. I think other stuff like fell as well. I don't know. So yeah, I do have a gnat trap that I had on my bedside table. I couldn't find any apple cider vinegar because I don't think we have anymore, so I just used regular white distilled, I think. Um, but I think I did add a little bit too much dish soap. Um, either that or I don't really have to like actually put like plastic wrap with the holes poked into it because like I feel like the most success you're getting out of a gnat trap is how much of a smell it makes because like I think last year when you walked into if you were to walk into my room during like either spring or summer, I forgot, you would the first I'm sure like when you like went over to like my setup by the time I feel like the first smell there would be to finger or apple cider that. That's like the third or fourth automobile I've seen. I think it might be the third. I heard that the best possible gnat trap involves a piece of fruit in it, but like why would I reach similar levels of success when, for one, you actually have to clean it out after the fruit rots enough? I mean, at that point, it might even become a worse thing. Yeah, question answered on if I'm gonna walk like 5 or 7 laps. Like after this orange, I might just walk 10 total. If the food is watermelon, then I am a gnat. Okay. What am I hearing? I haven't whistled in a while because I think the problem is I can. I just fear it would be a little too loud for any air to actually come out. It's like 75% air, 25% whistle. Ever just blend up a whole bunch of watermelon and a couple of strawberries? Best drink ever. That would go hard. Adds like a summer drink without the peels and leaves, I guess. I guess that just makes it like a little less pure, like a little more, um, a little less sweet for people who prefer less pure drinks. If you were to, uh, whenever I eat watermelon, I go like beyond the red a little bit because like I've heard a quote that says the best part of a cucumber tastes like the worst part of a watermelon. Fresh watermelon just hits different. That seems like that seems like it would be a cool thing to try. I am not against bugs being on my body. I just don't want them in my face. There's this little video I have from I think 2021. I go, "Hey, little fly," talking to it like it's a cat. It's like kind of quiet. I do kind of want to. I do kind of want to like look for that video. I think it's on. I think it's in my Google Photos, but it might end up being like the 2019 me tutorial. It's disabled. Watermelon. I mean, this is kind of a vibe of a cream as well. Kind of reminds me of like that King Kerner. Have you tried this fruit? Have you tried rose apples video? Sometimes I'm probably gonna wonder if there is indeed a fruit that Kane has never eaten. Because if he hasn't eaten every fruit, then hardly is going to. But technically, there are some fruits that are not edible. So it's like that comment on how to slice every fruit that says here, like 1,200 or whatever the value was, species of edible fruit. There's no way he's gonna cut them all. 7 days later, he's still at it. I kind of want to look for that comment, but I'm pretty sure all the comments on that video were focusing on how obnoxious the audience sound effects were. This is an orange. Ooh. Or something like that. The only good rule they had, I think, was use the hammer. If I ever sliced a grape, you can slice a grape. I have, and if you're a pro chef, your cooks pay you for it. my foot's falling asleep again. I mean, I guess that means peels on the floor. I'm just focused on getting this out. Orange tutorial for beginners. I mean, I've seen mandarins cut up like you would slice off both ends, and then you unroll it, and then you can like no, you slice off both ends, then what? Then you unroll it, then you have like little bits to take off the peel. I've seen people think that's the best way to cut mandarins, which fair. I think like once he inevitably got to oranges, I think he just like peeled it not with his fingers. I could very well be thinking of mandarins again though. He like peeled it like he would with his fingers, but with a knife, just like um, leaving so just taking off all the the skin that holds the fruit back. Like it's gonna be so clean if you avoid that. Like look at that. Look at how much juice. Look at how much if I do this, oh boy. Oh boy. Look at that. Look at how that doesn't look clean, does it? That doesn't look clean. You're sabotaging the orange, my man. I know you're a pro chef, but you're pro in everything food, but whatever you cut with that method, it seems. I guess all he does want is the fruit inside. I guess you have that spot to like hydrate your fingers when you're peeling so much that your fingers get dry from all the lack of liquid. This one almost feels like it's taking a little bit longer than the previous one because being a little extra perfect. I heard there is like some kind of powder that like creates an enzyme that you can mix with water. That knife got a little bit too close to my ear. That just like dissolves all of the outer layer on an orange. But I'm not sure if that necessarily means like that all the way through, the example I just showed. If you could crossbreed two fruits, what are you picking? Either flavors or physical attributes? I've heard that I've never tried a pomegranate, but I've heard that they're very good. Um, I've heard in like the Danny Valader and Valid series that oranges coming pre-cut are awesome buffs or whatever terms go on there, but are very agreeable. But yeah, if I'm allowed flavors or slash and physical attributes, I don't know. I feel like the best fruits to eat are the ones you have to do the least work to eat, aka like kind of like berries that like you don't have to peel but are already peeled, like strawberries. There's that one guy. There's that one guy that everybody tells him that there's that one guy who makes small food larger, and a whole running gag in the comment section of all three um, social media platforms he posts to. Yay, another person. You are that another person. And all three platforms he posts to is wanting him to make like a big grape. Um, I'm just this is like when you ask a man animal what animal they think they could beat in a fight. I'm just like I'm just like taking this so seriously, like what two fruits I would want to combine and just like getting all the reference I can. So yeah, I don't think there is that big of a fruit you can just like bite into it that well an apple, but those aren't necessarily soft, and when they are, they're kind of Granny Smith on top, man. Max Crunch, Max Tart, as I've heard. So yeah, I think many people's dream fruit would be a pomegranate, but instead of like having to like open it up and eat the seeds, it would just be like one big pomegranate seed that has the texture of a grape and is like the size of like a baseball. And then it has the best physical format, but I hate the texture and the flavor. I mean, yeah, it's fun to peel because of pea sauce. I how I peel bananas is I just like break it with like two servings. Very low cathartic, but yeah, I think that engine is going on. I do not know what that engine is, but I don't want to go ask. So yeah, many people's dream fruits would probably be like a pomegranate seed that's like multiple times bigger that you can just like bite into multiple times like a grape. One time I have peeled off the skin of a grape and ate it, and I was kind of disappointed because it didn't really have a crunch. This orange as pomegranate flavored apple would be amazing. Yeah, that sounds like something that could be created, but it's just like that, but would just be like a very rare fruit. You did surgery on a grape. I mean, I guess by definitions, why it's on me. Literally looked back to that a while ago, like this video by SD Slayer that was posted like 2020, but the actual video was from 2018 where they just played Skywars and everybody just kept saying they did surgery on a grape the whole time. I'm kind of sad I never actually witnessed that video when it premiered, nor have I watched the entirety of the nearly 20 minutes. I would have just assumed it was like 2 minutes. I'm not sure how much they can drag that they did surgery on a grape statement with it still being a valuable joke. I'm not sure I'm ever going to be able to make a routine until I am like 18 and I start changing a lot of stuff. I think if I finish this orange and walked another 5 laps around this area, I don't think I would make it to 2 hours. Hmm. But yeah, going back to the pomegranate apple message, I have seen, not in real life, but I have seen like a pink apple somewhere. It might have a pink peel. Hmm. Every time something happens, I just wish I brought something else out here. Napkins, paper towels are underrated objects. I'm not, I don't think I would ever kill a fly. I would just like blow it away. Flies aren't the bugs that get in my face, they're just the bugs that get on me. And I don't think I've ever had like more than one on me in a while. However, they do sound a little annoying. I gotta admit that. I don't know why I was looking at my phone like that. Dude, the buzzing is so loud I almost think it's a stinging insect like a bee or wasp. How am I gonna split these two edges apart? I'm pretty sure I've only ever been stung by a bee one time. Um, like when I dropped a pen when I was like going to recess and back in back in elementary school when I was going to recess and um I assume I had schoolwork, which is why for some reason I was bringing out a pencil. Um, I dropped the pencil. I brought my hand down to pick it up, and during the whole process of me picking it up, a bee landed on my hand and I think stung my finger. I don't know why I didn't just I don't know why I think I was just focused on me picking up the pencil and ignoring the I Mm, I mean, it's better to consume grass than dirt. In the beginning of the stream, I had my I had my phone on like one of these rocks that my phone is actually sitting against right now. I had my phone like sitting on that rock on the outer camera, so you could just only see the rock's surface. And I had it there for a few minutes because I had forgotten to get this hat that I actually only really need when I'm doing laps. I guess a better rhyme for that scheme would have been cap. Whoa. So yeah, I think streaming between 1 and 2 hours is good enough because that's still longer than one. And 2 hours is just slightly pushing it, but makes sense. Isn't unreasonable length to be streaming for. Streaming touching grass for. I'd say even right in between would be good as well. Like 1 hour 30 minutes. See, that's a good amount of that's a good amount of walking around and eating oranges. And that was the last orange in my house. That's the first day I've eaten 2 oranges on in a while. Because for me, it seems that oranges don't go bad as quickly as um apples do. Apples like the specific type kind of apples I get have like kind of the get like obtain like the kind of like bruisey texture and don't and they do keep their crunch. They just it's just not like ugh. It's like but then you have other apples that are like so I guess they both go bad at very similar rates now that I think about it. I would pick these peels up and spread them back at the re-stump, but I don't want to. Um, right now I wonder when I should start walking. Because if I start walking, that still just means that it'll probably be like I'll probably be done by after 1 hour 30 minutes. I heard that ripping grass is a stim. But what I used to do when all the swing sets were taken up is just like tie grass into that simple knot. I remember the feeling like a one-way gate feeling outside of the grass. You have yes, and then you pull it. That's nice. For travel and IRL streams, 4 hours plus is best, but daily short streams are also good. Mm. I feel like it would go hard. Just like because like when I go to Twitch and search VR chat streams, the only actually good female human model users, or the only good one I've seen is like day X of walking because like yeah, you're experiencing the well to be fair, they do have a headset on, so I guess it's not really fully experiencing with the outdoors, like more like what they could be. Um, that's why I really need to like once I get older, I gotta start like being outside for a little bit. Maybe like maybe like buying some exercise equipment and like putting it like somewhere. Really, the best spot that has concrete is the parking space. Um, because you're because then I'd be getting in shape the quickest and I'd be getting sunlight instead of just like instead of just like spending money on a gym membership and what like or like a private gym like we're on top. Ooh. Because like the content I plan to make is just like 100%ing whatever game I happen to be hyper fixated on at the time. So yeah, I'm just gonna like play with this grass. I'm just gonna play with this grass for a bit and then I'm gonna start walking again. This does kind of take me back to like when everybody else was playing with each other and I was just like sitting in the grass like being perfectly fine with playing by myself. Um so yeah, I'm gonna go get my shoes back on. Um and I'm gonna walk like and I feel like 10 laps total is fair enough because like why would I walk a different length than I did earlier? Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I actually set this stream up as like a kind of like a collaborate stream, like some of those squishy vertical streams with random on them, but I but I don't think I have the audience size to like just buzz people in and see where they are. Just walking, just touching grass. It's like that. Where are you? I'm right here. Awesome stuff. Next, where are you? I'm right here at Central Park with John Chungus. W. Next, where are you? Your mama's house. Incorrect. Next, where are you? It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that fluffy Arnold joke, pretty much. Or not a joke, just something that he experienced. With him just needing to like only give people like 0.2 seconds of time each until he did eventually get to until he did eventually. All right. I think I've got to get up and walk. Um, man, I supported my weight with that arm. So yeah, I think 2 hours of streaming is kind of out of the question because I might be a little bit too exhausted by that time to um to distract myself, or if I did I don't know, man. I feel like walking another 5 laps around this house is the best way I can end this. Except walking this way has just given me the idea of walking this way and going the other way to quote carry like a messed up solar system. But it still balances out, I guess. Gotta keep things unique somehow. Yeah, because or get to Big Bush is right here. Me win Big Bush. It's the first thing yeah. I'm gonna have to keep switching this hat to cover ears. Yeah, because now it kind of feels like a shorter distance is being traveled because like most of what I experience during this walking is just like this whole spot that's like behind my house, it seems like. Now I don't see any clouds, just a gradient on my phone. And now there's more time spent on this sidewalk, but less time spent on grass, which we need. I am definitely I'm definitely right after I end this stream, the first thing I'm doing is checking Sean's profile and also the profile of a lot of other people because I know that some people I'm following, such as Tamir, are also following John Chungus and know who he is. As well as all those other people who were in the You Are My Sunshine video, like Natalie Tran and Linda X. You somehow stayed relevant all this time. My most, I think, like one of my top 3 most viewed videos are a compilation of his TikToks from like 2022. And the compilation is also from 2022. Hello again, Bush. Um, reminds me of that. Um, reminds me of that Vine with I think the knock knock joke where somehow they integrated George Bush into the punchline, but somehow the only thing I heard them say was Bush, and then a person recording pushed the guy that was walking with them into a bush that they were about to like walk past. Um, I'm not sure I'd be able to find it just searching bush vine though. I'm gonna have to remember that though. I'm gonna have to remember that by doing that right before I check John Chungus's profile. And I'm touching grass significantly less than I was earlier. I'm taking my shoes back off. You'll see the shoes. All the money's digital. There's somebody else walking same time as me. I hope the dogs in my house don't go insane. It's a different person than who I usually see walking, though. I think. Let's see. This is a good thing to do. Just focus on the grass more than the cat, pretty much. All right. I think I'm. Last time, no, I was walking the other way. I gotta get on the grass. I gotta consciously. I gotta touch grass as much as I consciously can. And getting to the shade and starting the fourth lap. I don't know what I don't know how I can like predict. I was gonna say, chat, do I complete all miles before 140? But obviously, there is a constant pace that I can easily keep. I'm not running, and I'm not losing as much energy as I could be. Exhausted. There is no time limit that I'm focusing on. This is the break I need. Focusing on actually doing the laps instead of doing them quick. There's no prediction I should be consciously following. Um, all I should be focusing on is talking, because then I don't focus on all the work my body, or rather legs, is and are doing. I'm glad I still have the one, like, I'm pretty sure I'm about to reach my final lap. And I'm gonna walk around whatever this cursed object is, so I touch as much grass as possible. All right, about to reach the fifth and final lap before I walk back inside and probably wash my feet, because those need more washing than my legs, I'd assume. I'm sure dogs in my house are gonna be mad that there's somebody coming in that they haven't seen for over 10 minutes. So this is the final lap I'm doing um before I go inside. Bush. Bush. I'm saying bush to remember for that vine. Um I'm just I'm just like fumbling out this final distance. I want to push. All right, it's almost done. The length will include going back inside. I do kind of want to. I mean, it will involve that unless I want to just like sit back down, right back at the same spot I started eating those two oranges. Um, I know that's definitely what I'm going to do. All right, 5 laps around this house are about to be completed. I have a knife pointed up. I'm getting a call from my grandma.